All right, welcome back. Somewhere along the way, my video stopped. And I think I had, hopefully, I will cover this. I'll go back and check and make sure. But I was talking about arrays. And one way to check your work when you've done this array, when you've multiplied this row by this row, when you've set up your multiplication fact, and of course, setting up the multiplication problem also means answering it. So once you've done that, if you want to check to make sure you've done the right multiplication problem and you have the right answer, you can add up the total number of circles in this array, and that would be a great way to check your work. All right, now I want you to look at question number 4, and it says, which of the following units is the same as 2 pints? All right, so I would highly recommend either right before you take the test or watching this video again before you take the test, because if you're like me, sometimes you forget how many cups are in a pint and how many pints are in a quart and how many quarts are in a half gallon and so on. Well, that is all on page 472 in your book. So go ahead and look there with me at this chart, this nice little chart. And what it shows us is that you start with a cup and each time it doubles to get the next size. So 2 cups are in 1 pint, 2 pints are in 1 quart, 2 quarts are in 1 half gallon, and 1 gallon, or 2 half gallons are in 1 gallon. Excuse me. Now, another way that I can use this chart is I can know that I can start with a cup and it always doubles to tell me how many cups are in each of these. So I can start with a cup and know that there's 2 cups in a pint, but I can double that again. I can do 2 plus 2 or 2 times 2 and know that there are 4 cups in a quart. I can double my 4 times 2, or 4 plus 4, because doubling is just adding the same number twice or multiplying it times 2. So 4 times 2 is 8, and so then I can know there are 8 cups in a half gallon. And then I can double that again. I can do 8 times 2, or 8 plus 8, and know that there are 16 cups in a gallon. And you can do that with a pint too. You can double a pint and know that there are 2 pints in a quart, 4 pints in a half gallon, and 8 pints in a gallon. So all of these multiply by 2 each time. They go up by 2, plus 2, plus 2. Now, that is not the exact question they're asking on your math test today or tomorrow, but with this knowledge, you can answer any of the questions they're going to ask you. So make sure you look at page 472 or you watch this video before you take the test, and that you remember the different conversions for cups to pints to quarts to half gallons to gallons, and it will help you answer that question. All right, the next question that I thought might just be a little tricky and we might want to go over is your this rectangle that it says it's partly covered with small squares. All together, how many small squares would it take to cover the rectangle? Don't let this one trick you, okay? I think they're trying to trick you a little bit. But really, what you need to know, you have all the information. It's kind of like our array down here. It's kind of like, not like our volume, because our volume is a 3-dimensional and this is a 2-dimensional. But I think of this like when I was talking about volume and reminding you the difference between volume and area. This is an area question, all right? And so they're asking you about these small squares, how many of these fit in. And we remember to find the area of something, or how much fits in a 2-dimensional shape like this rectangle, we multiply one side by the other. So it's kind of like the array too. So I have all the squares that fit in the height of this object. And then I have all the squares that fit in the length of this object. So I can multiply those by each other and know how many squares fit all together in this rectangle. Okay, so don't let that one confuse you. You have all the information you need to solve that one. All right, let's see. There's a question about probability, and we talked about probability in lesson 50, that when there's more of something, you have a greater chance of picking it out of a bag.